What's up, and welcome to the Offseason. I'm your boy OG Tim Wilson. I'm here with the Nasty Boys, Big Ed and Waze. What's up, fellas?
What up?
What up? What up? Sorry, I
What
forgot to
up?
pour my shot.
Ain't that crown?
I didn't pour my shot either.
Yeah, I finished off the Douce.
I'm still drinking raspberry vodka. I don't even know why I held that up. That white label just wipes out with the light. You can't see nothing but white
Ooh,
label.
damn.
My shot.
I just poured a double, triple shot.
Good. That's what you need.
Holy shit. Oh man, I'm finna die.
He's fixing to die. So we're going to go ahead and do the shot. Today we're going to do some talk about the NFL draft. We're going to look at some NFL draft grades from one of the sites out there and see if we agree or disagree and why. We're also going to talk a little bit of NBA playoffs. We're going to get into a little, I don't know how little bit of fantasy football talk, but we might get into a little more fantasy football talk than we want to, more than we had been. And then we're going to end it with one of the most fun topics we've had on this show so far. It's going to be reminiscent of previous shows where we did mock drafts every week. At the end of this show, I have the first installment of the NFL way too early mock draft.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And we've got a guest coming in the room for a minute. He may not want to be on camera, but he's not on camera, but we can hear his voice.
Oh, there you go.
What up, though, Dejon? No, he don't want to be on camera. We can't hear you, but anyway, Dejon is in the house live with us right now. For those that don't know, Dejon is in the house live with us. We putting Waze to work today. Waze gonna have to do some work to get this edit right.
Yeah, I really am.
Oh, we can hear him now.
Dejon, mute your microphone because we can hear you and you got too much background noise. There you go. So if you join in, if you're not gonna participate, if you just want to be in with us, come on in. Just enjoy it while you're here. So we're gonna do some talk about it. What's happening, man? Let's do this shot. This is to the collective, baby. If you don't know who the collective is, you will. That's EFG, the collective. This is boom. For y'all, you're gonna know about us before it's all said and done.
To the collective. Ooh, double shot.
And for a certain someone, yes, the Nasty Boys are part of the collective, which is EFG.
Yes, sir.
One day you might get it right.
We've got another member of the collective in the building right now. Carlton Irvin is in the house. What up, though? So Carlton, he's still connecting. And he's in. What's happening, Carlton? What's good?
His audio connecting. His video there, his audio still connecting.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get back to Carlton. So we opened the doors this week to the whole collective group. So anybody in the collective that's willing to jump in is going to jump in, and we don't know who all's coming. We putting Waze to work this week on the edit shop. He gonna have some work to do. Carlton, what's happening, baby?
What's good, OG?
You the man. So Carlton has joined the collective along with us, and we've got a big bout coming up against SWV. The Sisters with Voices, and they use their voices to talk a whole lot of bullshit, and it's all good. We all ready for it because they running scared. So how you feel about it, Carlton? How you feeling about the season coming up, fantasy wise?
I think it's gonna be a good season. I'm trying to prepare some of my leagues and stuff. I'm trying to get that rematch with Johnny's squad, but I feel good about the clash. All I gotta do is draft well, and I'm cool. That's all.
That's it. That draft is important. So just so you know, I'm skipping over the draft grades. We're gonna do NFL draft grades, and then, but we can, since we since we started here, we're gonna talk a little fantasy football because we got a big match coming up this year. Finally, after 2 years, they have stopped running and decided to take the challenge against us. Yo, I see your big shot. I see you, little big shot. That's my grandson right there. What's up, big shot?
What up?
He's
uh,
running from the camera.
What's up, gang? How y'all doing, man? My bad. What's
Oh,
happening?
it's all good. We doing good. We doing good.
Big Stepper Dune in the building, also known as, what's your new name? Straight out of Southwest?
Straight out of Southwest, baby. Y'all know what's going on.
Yeah,
sir.
the real SW, damn it. So so they've been talking cash yet. And from what I understand, Jab has been up to his manipulative ways.
sounds about right.
While he's running scared, he's trying to use his psychological reasoning to make Carlton and Ricardo feel bad about joining the collective. Because I gave you a choice. You choose the collective or you choose BSB. You can't be in both. When he can play in 51 leagues and it's okay. Okay, all right. I see how it is. Do you hypocrite often? I don't know, man. So, whatever, man. I'm glad that the BSB fellas said if we gotta choose, we're gonna roll with the collective. But it ain't right that they gotta choose. Play them both. If you
I
make
mean, I just talked to him literally. He was in my inbox and I told him up the pot. And that's when he was saying the rematch is on. You know, Johnny, sometimes you never know what he gonna say. Cause in like another month he can be like, no, we focusing on the clash. Like we're trying to compete with, like, even though we're competing with EFG for the clash as well, we're trying to compete against them and compete against SWG at the same time. I don't know why he don't like that, but I'm like, look, you join 51 leagues, you can join one more. That's how I feel about it.
if you can join 51 leagues, you ain't got room to criticize nobody for
Right.
As a
joining any
sophomore,
league they want to.
as a sophomore in this, I will say there is a trend I noticed where when it comes to the big ones, someone has a habit of tucking his tail and running.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I heard you. So I got a lot to say, but I'm not going. I'm biting my tongue. I'm saving it. I am saving it because talk is cheap. They doing a whole lot more talking than they need to, but I'm gonna let them talk on. But right now, as of today, from everything I've been hearing today, I smell fear. Or should I say, I smell pussy.
Shout out to Full Force.
On to the NFL, man. I'm gonna do some NFL grades. We're gonna run through them pretty quick here, and we are going to. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Appreciate the applause, man. I do. We're gonna run through them pretty quick, and maybe spend more time on the important ones, and then give our opinion of whether or not we agree. So the Arizona Cardinals, we're starting with Arizona Cardinals, who in the first round they took a tackle. So I'm going to just run through them fast. They took a tackle, they took an edge rusher, a cornerback, a wide receiver, a guard, a quarterback, Clayton Tune, a linebacker, cornerback, and a defensive. What the hell is a DI? I don't even know what a DI is. But his name, he was their last pick. They, of course,
Interior?
potentially. Paris Johnson Jr. was their first pick. They were given the grade of an A+. Do you agree that the Arizona Cardinals had an A+ grade? Ways, what you think?
Based off of what I have seen and I know, I don't know if I give them an A+, but they definitely have an A at the very least. They addressed all their issues. They got that offensive tackle that can go ahead, get outside the box, keep Kyler Murray's blind side nice and cleaned up. And they addressed all their defensive issues. May not have been in the rounds that most people would prefer, but they addressed them.
Big Ed, your thoughts?
I was kind of mad at him at first because they took the tackle I really wanted.
Try not to think in the eyes of a Bears fan. Damn,
But
be objective. For one.
but I'll give him an A. I'll give him an A.
All right. Carlton, you got a thought on that?
I don't really have a grade to give them, but like the Cardinals, they were like in a position where they had a lot of needs. So it was like when you look at their draft, it's like I personally thought they were going to draft Bijan. I thought that James Conner probably was going to get injured maybe during a year or something. I thought the Cardinals probably was going to draft Bijan.
Okay.
But I don't, to be honest, I don't really know all the college prospects and scouts. I kind of usually research on them like headed towards fantasy football season. But I can't give them a grade, but I think they did fill a couple needs though. They got a team that's full of injuries, full of holes missing in their roster. So I mean, if you want to go by that, then yeah, you can give them like an A+ if they filling needs.
Yeah, I'm going the route you went, because when you look at it, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks. That's a lot of holes they have to fill, and they potentially filled a lot of them. Of course, we don't know until we see they put it on the field and see exactly what they did, but they did improve the offensive line. That's a big one. They did get him another receiver as well. They got a lot of picks. They also put some help on the defensive line. So just the fact that they've filled so many holes, they put so many new people in the mix. I think that bodes well for them. I don't know if I say A+, but I'm with Waze on just saying an A. Atlanta Falcons, they did pick Bijan Robinson. They also grabbed a tackle, an edge rusher, a cornerback, a safety, and OG. They got me, OG. No, they got an offensive guard as well with their last pick. And they have been graded. By the way, this grade system is from Pro Football Focus, is who's doing these grades. Pro Football Focus has given them a B+. Big Ed, what's your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons? A B+ grade.
I'll go with that. I love the pick of Bijan Robinson for him. It's going to help, what's his name, Ritter? Going to help him immensely to have somebody back there besides Cordero Patterson to run the ball.
Waze, what's your thought?
I like it. I'll give them the B+. I'm not a fan of the Bijan Robinson pick. I wasn't a fan when it was. I can live with it, because if they decide they're going to work a split back system and possibly move Cordero to a fullback position, that they could probably have the most dangerous running game in the league right now.
What you think, Carlton?
The Bijan pick was surprising, but I wouldn't say I seen it coming, but I was like, because up in Philly, a lot of people wanted the Eagles to draft Bijan Robinson, but I didn't think the Eagles I think the Eagles were going to target him, but that's not really what the Eagles do. So from a fantasy perspective, I didn't see all their picks. I have seen what they did in the offseason. They added a lot of pieces on their, their defensive line. I can't remember who it was, but they made a lot of moves. But I would say I didn't think they needed a running back. From a fantasy perspective, Tyler Algier was one of my targets. And now with Bijan there, it's like, man, just from the fantasy perspective, I'm giving them a B.
It's funny because Waze, you pointed out Algier as well. When in our mock draft, I had them picking Bijan Robinson. That's exactly who I thought they would pick, and you thought they wouldn't because of Algier. And I think with today's football, today's climate of football, teams normally stack running backs. They go with 2 running back sets, some even go with 3. And I thought they would do that because the 2 best things you can do to help a young quarterback is give him an offensive line, or 3 is give him an offensive line, give him some receivers for weapons, and give him a running game. And I thought of those three things, one thing they could improve most was to give him a solid running game to help his play action pass. So that's why I thought they would go with Bijan.
Do you think that B. John Robinson pick hurts someone like Drake London or Kyle Pitts fantasy value heading into next season?
I do not. In fact, I think it improves it.
Yeah.
Because I think that it helps the play action pass.
Not only that, a lot of teams are going to put 8 men in the box trying to stop Bijan.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll put it in the box, but they will bite more on the run. I think they'll be more biting on the run. And with Ritter still having a lot of question marks, I think he needs that safety net as far as being able to hand it off a lot in case he's not if he's struggling to throw the ball.
Right.
If the Saints are the Falcons are smart, their best opportunity right now with what you just drafted and incorporating Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson into the mix, their best bet is to move like someone like Drake London. He's a young, speedy kid who has actually impeccable route running. You move him to the slot, and Ritter is not a deep ball guy. He's gonna chunk you out. He's a time manager. He has someone like Drake London that could get him that space in the middle, short routes, medium routes, and can drive the ball forward. The Falcons could be dangerous if handled properly.
Well, I think Ritter is very underrated. If you didn't watch Cincinnati, you don't really know what he has. But Cincinnati won a lot of games with him at the quarterback. I mean, they really did. So
when Burrow was hurt.
And I hate to no, I'm talking about he played for Cincinnati University. That's
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the Bengals.
No, he didn't play for the Bengals.
Sorry.
He played for
when he was with Cincinnati, he was a chunker. He was that guy he was a lot like how I don't like using Tom Brady as an example, but his play style is similar to Ritter, where he's not looking for those big plays. He's gonna make you work for it. Your defensive backs are going to be tired by the end of that game.
Now, considering we're talking about Bijan, I want to get to Dijon because it rhymes. I know D don't talk often, and I don't know if he has anything to add, but I want to give him the option. If you want to just D, did you want to get in or stay out, or you just want? He just disappeared off the camera when I said that. Did you want to speak in on it, or are you just listening in? You got to unmute.
I'm listening, man. I mean, if I feel like I'm gonna say something, I'll say something. But I'm just listening right now.
Okay, I just wanted to open the door for you since we was talking about Bijan, and it rhymes with Dijon. But anyway. So moving on to Baltimore Ravens, I don't want to eat too much time up on teams we don't really care about. Baltimore Ravens picked up Zay Flowers with their first pick. They also grabbed a linebacker, an edge rusher, a cornerback, an offensive guard, and another offensive guard. So they got two offensive guards in there. And Pro Football Focus has given them a B. Carlton, I'll let you go first this time. What do you think?
I think Zay Flowers was a much needed addition. The Ravens, one thing they don't have is weapons on the outside. Like you got Rashad Bateman, but you need more weapons. And then they did pick up Odell Beckham, right, as well, which I'm not really too high on that move, but hold on just a second.
Go ahead. Waze, go ahead. Cut in.
I will agree with what Carlton has been saying there. With Zay Flowers, that was the only pick for them, in my opinion, for the first round. They had what people would consider better receivers, but for their system, for their quarterback and his abilities, Zay Flowers was the guy for the Baltimore Ravens.
Big Ed, what's your thoughts?
I'm concerned I'd give him an A-.
Okay, Big Ed, what's your thoughts?
I'm right there with a B. Zay Flowers was a good pick. They needed another linebacker besides Roquan that could slide into the system, and they got Lamar some more help on the offensive line. So I'll stick with a B with him.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of offensive line picks and defensive line picks. I'm always a fan of picks in the trenches, and I agree with what everyone said. The number one priority had to be getting another receiving weapon for Lamar, especially after you just gave him $18 billion guaranteed. Buffalo Bills. When they went after tight end Dalton Kincaid, which they said they admittedly did to keep him from the Cowboys. They also grabbed a guard, a linebacker, a wide receiver, another offensive guard, and a cornerback. Um, Pro Football Focus has given the Buffalo Bills an A for their draft. Ways, your thoughts?
I don't agree. I give them a C. I was not impressed by their draft. Dalton Kincaid didn't make any sense to me.
Okay. Big Ed, what do you think?
I am going to disagree with Waze because Dalton Kincaid is actually a good pick because he's a good blocking tight end. He can fit right there on the left side with Dawson Knox on the right side in a two tight end system. And that's actually going to help their running game out a lot because they didn't have one.
Carlton, talk to me.
I just feel like they fading out my man Dawson Knox. I just feel like if they use Dawson Knox more, he'll produce for them. But I don't really see a area where he's just gonna come in right away. Like, fantasy football tight ends never produce their first year. It usually take them like 2 or 3 years. Well, I would say really probably 2. Like for a real talented tight end, I don't really know the guy, Dalton Kincaid, but from what I hear about him when I was watching the draft, people consider him a steal. I do think from a perspective of having a lot of weapons on your team, this is the NFL and this is an offensive pass heavy league. So if they feel like they needed to upgrade that position, then I think they did what's best for them. I really can't give them a grade though, but I don't know.
I see him as a good option as a second tight end.
Okay, I'm going to say this as a person that had Dawson Knox on a few of my teams this year. I thought he was underwhelming. I thought he underperformed. I thought he
is underwhelming. You're right about that.
I was not a fan. So I think it was a good pick because giving Josh Allen another weapon cannot be a bad thing in my opinion. And again, they did say they were sticking it to the Cowboys because they knew for a fact Jerry had already played his hand that Dalton Kincaid was at the top of his list of things that he wanted. He ended up getting another tight end later, but he didn't get the one he wanted because Buffalo stole him, intentionally stole him. So I'm curious to see if he can produce more than Dawson Knox, because Dawson Knox to me was one of my biggest disappointments of last season. So I'm not going as far as an A, but I will go as far as a B.
That's the same thing that happened to the Cowboys a couple years ago. The Eagles traded up to get Dallas Goedert. The Cowboys, they wanted Dallas Goedert bad.
They sure did. They sure did.
Same thing happened.
But moving on to the Carolina Panthers. Of course, we all know their first pick. They picked Bryce Young from Alabama. They also got him a wide receiver, Jonathan Mingo. They got an edge rusher. Then they also got an offensive guard and a safety. Pro Football Focus gave them a B+. Big Ed, what's your thoughts?
I can agree with that. They addressed their quarterback need, and then they got a possible replacement for DJ Moore. Okay. So they did what they were supposed to. I actually might have gave them an A-.
Okay, all right. Carlton, your thoughts?
I would say the same thing. I mean, they got their quarterback for the future, which they desperately needed because who they have now, Sam Darnold, I think, is in Carolina. Yeah, and he's not going to do nothing. I think everything they did this offseason has been pretty fire. I don't see them as a Super Bowl team, but I think if things break their way, they could be one of them highly competitive teams that might get maybe 8-9 wins this year, and they can build off that.
Yep, sneak into the wild card.
Ways. I said Ways. What's your thoughts?
All right. CJ Stroud, beautiful pick. Or sorry, Bryce Young, beautiful pick.
You said they got CJ. Oh no, they didn't get CJ Stroud. That was Houston, right?
Bryce Young, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bryce
they got
Young,
Bryce Young.
great pick. Perfect quarterback for someone you just picked up with Adam Thielen. I personally would give the Panthers an A. They addressed their needs. They got that goddamn guard because that is the offensive line position they have been lacking in for the last decade.
Okay. Well, let's see if that guard is the answer. I love the Bryce Young pick. I like the wide receiver pick to go behind it.
Who was their wide receiver they got?
Jonathan Mingo from Ole Miss, and I'm gonna give them a B. I won't go as far as a B plus, but I absolutely love the Bryce Young pick, and I think he's going to change life in Carolina eventually. So for what it's going to mean to them moving forward, I'm going to hold on to a B to that, and I think for how few picks they had, I can't go above that. Moving on to the Chicago Bears.
Oh shit!
Chicago Bears grabbed the tackle Darnell Wright with their first pick, the 10th overall pick. They also grabbed another DI, whatever the fuck that means. Cornerback, another DI, whatever the hell that means. A running back, a wide receiver, a linebacker, a cornerback, another DI, and a safety. Damn, I don't know what a DI is, but they sure got a whole fuck ton of them.
That's knowing the Bears picks, those are defensive interior linemen.
Okay, all right, okay. We're gonna take your word for it for now. Let's see. He is a. Let's see what they call it. If I can find anything. No, they didn't even say it. They don't even define it in there either. But Pro Football Focus gave the Bears a B plus. Ways, what's your thoughts on it?
The Bears addressed their needs, but at the same time, I'm not sure. Darnell Wright, their very first pick. Great pick since Paris Johnson went. You couldn't have asked for anything better for them once Paris Johnson went off the board. Now you got a player who can protect Justin Fields.
Figure out which pick. Defensive line. Javon Dexter Sr. That was their second pick in the first, the 53rd pick in the second round.
Yep.
The corner they got, what was his name? Terrell Smith.
Smith out of Minnesota.
Man, that man, being here in Minnesota and watching him play for Minnesota, he is a beast. Back to the Darnell Wright pick. He only allowed 2 sacks his whole career so far in college.
All right. Carlton, talk to me. What's your thoughts on the Bears? Yeah.
I don't really have nothing to say about the Bears right now. Like y'all prepared. I kind of just jumped in this. Like I did watch the draft. I watched like the first round and I listened to some of it on ESPN while I was at work. But it's like I don't really have nothing to say about the Bears. I can't really give you an answer.
Bears ain't shit anyway.
I
like the first pick. I like Darnell Wright. Huge motherfucker. Huge boy. Plows through deep. He plows holes that open. So they really, really needed something like that on that front line to protect that little fragile ass quarterback they got. And so I'm gonna hold tight and hold them with the B plus.
That's coming from a 49ers fan talking about a fragile ass quarterback.
I'm talking. Well, you know,
he got 3. He had 3 of them last year. He had 3 of them.
But y'all had 3 wins, motherfucker. So anyway,
he hit you with the left hook when you were
Cincinnati Bengals pick. Let's see. They first started off as the 28th overall pick. They got an edge rusher, Miles Murphy, out of Clemson. They also went for a cornerback, a safety, 2 wide receivers, a running back, a punter, and a cornerback. They got a punter in the 6th round out of Michigan, of all places. Pro Football Focus gave them an A. Carlton, you go first this time. What's happening?
I don't know that. Look, I feel so unprepared right now because I'm trying to go off of what I know.
That's what we all doing.
I know, but you said who they get?
They got they opened up with an edge rusher, Miles Murphy out of Clemson, and then they got cornerback DJ Turner out of Michigan, safety Jordan Battle out of Alabama, wide receiver out of Purdue, a running back out of Illinois, a wide receiver out of Princeton, a punter out of Michigan, and a cornerback out of Miami.
Cornerback out of Miami.
CJ Ivy.
Look, I'm just gonna go with what Pro Football Focus say.
Okay. All right. All right, Waze, you got anything to add?
Look, Cincinnati, I think, all right, now I can guarantee you only 1% of people watching this or on the internet is going to agree. Cincinnati, I think, had the best draft this year.
Okay, so for just for future notice, I'll say, Carlton, if you don't have anything, it's okay to say, no, I ain't got nothing, and we'll move on. Big Ed, it's something Big Ed should do a whole lot, but he don't do enough of. Big Ed, your thoughts on Cincinnati?
I love Miles Murphy, the Miles Murphy pick, because they needed to shore up that defensive line. And I didn't hear who else they got, so
okay, so we're gonna move on.
That's it.
All right. Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, they didn't have a pick until the third round.
God damn.
That's why I ain't got them on the list.
So their first pick was a wide receiver, Cedric Tillman from Tennessee. They also grabbed an interior defensive lineman, a tackle, an edge rusher, a quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who I love a lot, out of UCLA. They got a cornerback and center, Luke Weipler out of Ohio State. Pro Football Focus gave Cleveland an A-. Your thoughts, Big Ed?
I'll go with the B. They addressed a lot of needs, but most of them are going to be depth players instead of immediate factors.
Okay. Waze, your thought?
That wide receiver pick is the steal of the draft for them. He has the perfect skill set for Deshaun Watson. And that is going to, I'm not going to put him on the level of D-Hop, but that is going to be Deshaun's new D-Hop, in my opinion.
I want to say real quick, I want to bring in another member of the collective. In fact, we are bringing in El Jefe himself, Melvin Hunter. Melvin Hunter is in the building. What up, though? Capitan is in the building. So yeah, we're gonna let him load there. Are you in? Can he talk yet? I think he's still connecting.
Yep, the audio's still connecting.
Okay, so while his audio is connecting, Carlton, did you have anything to add about Cleveland's draft?
Man, Cleveland's a sorry franchise, so I don't really put too much.
Damn.
I'm gonna say this. I love the wide receiver pick, Tillman, and from Tennessee, great pick there. And I also love the quarterback pick of Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of UCLA. So if anything happens to Deshaun Watson, if he falters or if time gets away from him, they've got a backup that will be ready in a few years to take that baton and run with it. I think we got Melvin live over here. Melvin, you in the building?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's happening, bro?
Good, Mel.
What's going on, man?
El Jefe?
How you guys doing?
Awesome,
Good,
man.
good.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Good to have you in.
Yeah.
Just want to say, I want to say now, I sent it to you in the IM, but I want to say it to you now live in person. You have done one hell of a job putting together a squad for the collective to go into battle with this year, man. And
Thanks, man.
I respect, baby, respect for that.
Yo, man, I'm trying, man. I'm looking. Yo, this year, man, like in past years, I've kind of like waited last minute to, get the fantasy thing going. But I was like, you know what? Let's get this thing going, started early, man, and let's just wreck these guys.
I'm with you. I'm with it.
And I just appreciate, honest. I just appreciate you guys for like joining, man. Carlton, man, thanks for joining in, and we appreciate it, because I know, when Johnny put that, either play with us or run your own thing, man, that was a big choice because I know you guys want to do your own thing, so I really,
He talking different now because I told him to up the pot on that SWG versus BSB thing. So now he talking different a little bit. But you never know with Johnny. He might switch up in like a month or two. You never know.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. So it's all good though. But I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to getting this thing rolling.
I smell pussy.
Definitely. I mean, I have to say this because I'm contractually obligated. Cowboys gonna win the Super Bowl.
Funny you mentioned Cowboys because right now we're doing draft grades. We're going down the list, and next up on it is the Dallas Cowboys, who picked Michigan defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. They also grabbed tight end Luke Schoonmaker out of Michigan. 2 Michigan players right up top, so I got to give them props for that. They also grabbed a couple of edge rushers, an offensive tackle, a cornerback, a running back, and a wide receiver with their last pick. And Pro Football Focus gave them a C+.
Yeah. I mean, because really,
Melvin, it's your squad. You got to speak on them first.
I mean, defensively, man, I think defensively we were stacked anyway. So I really don't get the emphasis on drafting the defensive picks that early. But I guess, offensively, man, hopefully we don't struggle too much without Zeke. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what Dak can do, with the turnovers and if he can really lead the team. Personally, I have my doubts, but we'll see. I mean, I can see us going, making the playoffs and, like I said, winning the Super Bowl, beating the Eagles. But it's a long season.
Yeah. I actually would have liked to have seen the Cowboys grab the guy that Cleveland grabbed, the Dorian Thompson-Robinson, to have him sitting back there ready to take the helm behind their quarterback, Dak Prescott.
Yeah. But I'm glad they grabbed the tight end because they need from an offensive standpoint, the key to the Cowboys when they're good, they always have a good tight end.
They need it.
That is facts, though. I do agree with that.
Waze, what's your thoughts, man?
I will be the first to say I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan in any right. I will give their draft an A. Mozzie Smith.
Wow. Really?
Mozzie was a pick for me. Dallas had a terrifying defense last year. With Mozzie, they're unstoppable.
Big A, what's your thoughts?
I like the Mozzie pick, but they did need another receiver opposite CeeDee Lamb, and they did need to pick up another backup running back behind Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Because he has been hurt a couple times. He has shown that he can carry the team, but
he's not a workhorse.
No.
Carlton,
he needs somebody to spell him.
Yeah.
Carlton, what's your thoughts, Carlton? Talk to us. I mean, we're talking about your arch rivals, man, the Cowboys. So go ahead and spit all the shit you want.
You know what? To be honest, I'll give the Cowboys, and just based off of draft history, I'll give them like an A because one thing about the Cowboys, even if they might choke during the playoffs, whatever they do tend to draft well. So Jerry Jones do make good draft picks. So I do like the fact that they drafted that running back that was the son of the scout.
Yeah.
I do like that. That was like a feel-good story. So I don't really know too much about their picks, but I'll give them a solid A only because I know they tend to draft well anyway. So
I agree with you, but I'm not going far as an A. I agree with what you said. I'm going with a B, but I agree with you. They do have a good draft history, and I love the 2 Michigan picks back to back up top. And the feel good story about the running back pick as well from Kansas State, Deuce Vaughn. So I'm with that as well. So I'm going B. Denver Broncos. They didn't have a first round pick, but in the second round they grabbed wide receiver Marvin Mims out of Oklahoma. They also got
Okay.
a linebacker, a cornerback, a safety, and a center. And Pro Football Focus gave them a B plus.
Okay.
Ways your thoughts?
I can't really disagree. Wide receiver first round, I'm not really sure. Cortland Sutton's progression and his ability last year was really more of an effect of Russell Wilson not being ready to play.
Big Ed, what you think?
Sean Payton now has 3 wide receivers. He's got 3 possible number one wide receivers on any team.
Wow, you think Marvin Mims will be a one?
He could be in on okay. On Carolina, he could be. You know what I'm saying? In some places he could be a number one.
Okay.
So he's got 3 possible number 1 receivers at 1, 2, and the slot.
Yeah, that's true. Sean Payton is there, so that's going to be interesting to see if he can wake up Russell Wilson.
And he didn't kicked out. He didn't kicked out all of Russell Wilson's trainers. So
yeah, Russell Wilson is at the wheel. So we'll see if he can wake that motherfucker up.
Yeah, what's going to be the excuse this year, man? I mean, Russell, he just had a horrible year.
Oh, he don't have one.
Yeah, that's what I'm
All
saying.
right, Big Ed,
You don't. You got Sean Payton over there, and you still got all them weapons. Like, he don't got that.
And a good defense. I mean, so.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what
I mean, honestly, I think last year, I mean, Denver had a horrible head coach. Like from week 1, he was horrible. So, you know, let's see what they can do with Sean Payton.
It was legendary.
Next up, the Detroit Lions, my hometown team. Not my squad, but my hometown team. We're going to root for them. We're going to root for them because they are. They went first round with 2 picks in the first round. They grabbed Jahmyr Gibbs, running back out of Alabama, and then also Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Iowa. They also went in the second round with 2 picks. They grabbed a tight end, Sam Laporta, and a safety, Brian Branch, out of Alabama. And then they went with Hendon Hooker, quarterback out of Tennessee, in the third round. They grabbed an interior defensive lineman, an offensive tackle, and a wide receiver to round out the draft. And Pro Football Focus gave them a B plus. Who said
No, I did.
Okay, well, talk to me. What's it?
Well, to be quite frank, I don't know much about. All I know about Detroit is what I see, what everybody's posting, and what it seems like Detroit. They had a good draft and they had a good team last year. So I'm just gonna wait and see if they're gonna, live up to the expectations.
Move up from there. That is very, very. That's fair. That's fair. Big Ed.
Hey, they got rid of DeAndre Swift. They got Jahmyr Gibbs to pair with David Montgomery, who I'm pissed as hell the Bears just let him walk like that.
You sound hurt about that, Big Ed.
Man,
Sorry.
yeah, I am. Him and Khalil Herbert was some beasts in the backfield. But now it's going to be him and Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to be splitting time. Jack Campbell, the linebacker, that's one area in the defense where they needed help, was that linebacker. So I'll give him a B.
Waze?
I am a Minnesota Vikings fan. And
We're going to move on then, Carlton.
It pays me to say this. I am going to give them an A plus.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Hey, somebody said that Pro Football Weekly was or whatever was generous. Waze is generous.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, they did do a good job. But go ahead, Waze, justify that.
Just simply based off of their playbook from last season, Jahmyr Gibbs is the only option at running back.
Bingo.
Now, as far as Campbell goes, I'm going to say it now. Take my word for it. Run it back on me at the end of the season. Campbell is the defensive rookie of the year.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to say, with Dejan, I see Dejan's mic is open, so I got to let D speak on the D. Oh, I thought you wanted to speak on Detroit. Man.
No, I was just talking to Big Ed because I knew he was going to say something about Montgomery. But I will say, in my opinion, I feel like the Lions. This was a very, very good draft for the Lions. Um, we needed to up our secondaries. So I just want to see how it's gonna pan out, man. I'm really excited to see. I want to really see what our defense is gonna do. I know what the offense gonna do.
They
Defensively,
spent a lot of off-season capital on the secondary, and then so they in the draft they didn't really go there. They went with Brian Branch, which is a great addition. I've noticed that they're going after a lot of Alabama since Brad Holmes took over. He's going after a lot of Alabama players. I look at it. I think they really pick for the system. They get a lot of criticism for going running back that high, but they really going after the system because Jameer splits out and catches a lot of balls. Jack Campbell is underrated. My favorite pick of theirs is Hendon Hooker. I think he's going to be the best quarterback to come out this draft eventually.
yes, sir.
I think
he's got a year or two to sit under Goff, so
I think that it's going to work out.
Oh yeah, because he still gets to rehab his knee.
Oh
yeah. So
hey guys, sorry, I'm gonna jump off, man. I just wanted to jump on just to say hey, what's up to everybody, but I gotta get off right now, and salute and enjoy the rest of the show, man.
Man, appreciate you, baby.
Peace out, man.
Definitely, guys. All right, man.
Catch you in the
All
All
right. Yo, that's the leader.
All right, I'm finally free for a second. Done all my paperwork.
Okay. All right. Well, we're just in time for the Green Bay Packers, who got edge rusher Lucas Van Ness. They grabbed a tight end, Musgrave. They got a wide receiver, another tight end, an edge rusher, a quarterback, Sean Clifford out of Penn State, another wide receiver, a defensive tackle, a kicker, a cornerback, a running back, a safety, and another wide receiver.
Goddamn.
Aaron Rodgers got to be mad right now.
I would be mad. They did him dirty. So they finally drafted some wide receivers, and Aaron Rodgers not on the team.
It felt like that was not half of the draft.
And that was his whole problem. That was his whole problem.
And Pro Football Focus gave them a B+. Carlton, since you didn't get to speak on the Lions, go ahead and speak on the Packers.
From what I hear about Luke Van Ness, they say that he could be one of the steals of the draft.
Huge guy.
Who else they draft again?
A bunch of wide receivers and tight ends and shit.
A running back, a couple of wide receivers.
Yeah, they got
Who's the running back they got?
They grabbed Lou Nichols out of Central Michigan.
It's crazy because the only running backs this whole time I have really heard of is Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan, and I think a little bit is a running back named Sam Tucker too.
Yeah,
that's the only ones I heard this whole time during this whole draft time. I would just say I can't give them a grade, but I think they're preparing for the next generation of Packers to come in and make them competitive again. So I mean. It's hard to really grade these drafts because you really can't truly grade a draft until 3-4 years down the road.
Right. Yeah. So, Waze, what's your thoughts?
I will just to piggyback off of what Carlton just said. The Packers are in a semi-rebuilding phase. They can afford to get someone like Lucas Van Ness where they know they need that edge. But at the same time, you got a quarterback who really isn't proven in any way, who can probably work some magic with some of these younger wide receivers or current wide receivers that they have currently. So I think I personally would give them a B- because I don't think they addressed enough of their future.
Big Ed, what's your thoughts? We're gonna move a little faster. We're gonna have to skip.
They should have. I think the Packers should have picked up another quarterback.
They did.
Oh, okay.
They got a lot of Big Ten.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
They got a lot of Big Ten players. They got one from Michigan State, one from Central Michigan, none from Michigan, so I'm giving them an F. All right, Houston Texans. Let's see here. Houston went with C.J. Stroud, came right back and made a trade and grabbed Will Anderson. Then they went with a center, a wide receiver, an edge rusher. Henry Tutu out of Alabama, who doesn't have a position next to his name. They got a center, a wide receiver, and a safety. and Pro Football Focus gave them a B minus. Agree or disagree, Big Ed?
I disagree. I give them at least an A,
Ooh, okay,
especially with the first 2 picks alone.
okay. I give the first 2 picks an A. I don't know that I give the rest of the draft that same grade. Ways, your thoughts?
Unpopular opinion, but based off of the research I've done on their picks, I'm gonna give them an A plus, second to the Lions, and I have a feeling that in the next 5 years they will be in the championship or divisional championship, conference championships of the playoffs.
That is a big task, a major task, and be considering all the quarterbacks prowess that's playing in the AFC. Carlton, what do you think?
I give them an A plus because they were just aggressive from the jump. It kind of reminded me of like when I play Madden on franchise mode and I'm cheating the system, trading away picks to get number 1 and number 2 picks. So I like the fact that they was aggressive, and I think they made a statement. And if it's like that's going to be in the, I don't think they're going to trade up like that in the near future. But if they're going to show that type of aggressiveness, I think that they're going to be very competitive real soon. So I like the fact that they traded up, they got their quarterback, and then they came back. And who was the other guy they drafted?
Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah, Will Anderson. Yeah, like
so they got the top edge rusher.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I give them an A. I like their draft.
All right.
Just from them 2 picks alone, I like it.
Indianapolis Colts, they grabbed the quarterback Anthony Richardson, their first pick, and then they also went with a cornerback, another wide receiver, a tackle rather, edge rusher, cornerback, safety, tight end, running back, edge rusher, cornerback, offensive tackle. And let's see here, with Pro Football Focus gave them an A plus. Do you agree, Big Ed?
I give them an A.
Okay.
I like the pick of Anthony Richardson. I like them getting some help at wide receiver. They already had a decent defense, so I'll give them an
A. All right. Wade, what you thought? What you think?
I put them in third for this year's draft.
Okay.
Anthony Richardson is the perfect quarterback. I don't agree that he may be the first day starter. I think bench him for a year, let him get used to the system and to the speed of the league. But overall, Colts are going to be something scary over the next decade.
I think they might bench him from at the start of the season, but I get the feeling before the season is over, we're going to see him on the field. But at the same time, I love their draft. I love that they got so many picks when they had so many holes to fill, kind of like the Arizona draft. And speaking of which, go ahead, Carlton, did you want to add anything? Okay. Speaking of which, Jacksonville Jags was up next, and they too had a shit ton of picks. They drafted tackle Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. They got a tight end, a running back, a linebacker, 2 edge rushers, a safety, a wide receiver, a cornerback, a safety, an offensive tackle out of Appalachian State, a defensive tackle, and a fullback. When was the last time you heard fullback?
Fullback.
Wow.
And Pro Football Focus gave them a B.
I thought the fullback position was obsolete now in the NFL.
I know, right?
Yeah, usually it's like the third tight end that comes in and plays fullback.
Like, what is like only like one fullback in it?
Damn, bro. No, let's not get
y'all got him. San Francisco got him. What's the name? Kyle Shufacek or something? I don't know.
Yeah, they did. Kansas City Chiefs had the edge rusher Felix. They moved up 1 pick and got edge rusher Felix Anudike Ozuma out of Kansas State, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
We got to announce them as the champs. We got to say that a little bit better than that. The champs.
Nah, fuck them.
Oh,
Then they got a wide receiver.
You a Colts fan, D-Dot?
I like the Chiefs, man.
You Chiefs fan. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping they run it back with the Eagles next year.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping.
They got Shamari Connor. They got an edge rusher, a defensive tackle, and a cornerback. And Pro Football Focus gave them a B- for their draft.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, we really coming off a championship like that, we really didn't need much. I feel like we did need another receiver, but we don't need nothing. It's Patrick Mahomes.
They need their ass beat.
You guys need
They need
Man,
their ass
we
beat.
let y'all off the hook, like that Arizona coach said. We let them off the hook.
Yeah, Jenny Green.
I
Jimmy
feel like
Green.
Philly, y'all, they did a lot by y'all put too much focus on y'all QB.
All right,
It was too much focus on him. That's it.
We ain't
That's
having
it.
that conversation.
I know it's hard to hear. I know it's hard.
No, we're
No, I
not
don't
talking
think we
Super
put too
Bowl.
much-
That's all.
I don't think we
We're
put
getting
too
off
much
the subject.
Okay, my bad.
Y'all go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just think like they won, and the Chiefs were the only team in the NFL that, in my opinion, I thought could beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I thought if Cincinnati made it, I thought Cincinnati was going to get scraped. I didn't think
See why I
Cincinnati.
didn't want to do this? See why I didn't want to do this? This is
Okay, my bad. Look, we gonna. You know what? Maybe on another show we can debate this. But go ahead. I respect this show. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Super Bowl was like 5 months ago.
It wasn't a hard loss though. It wasn't like I was crying. It was like a good game. I was just disappointed a little bit.
It was a great game.
I wasn't like mad or angry about it though.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was a great game.
Tough. All right.
Okay, the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm kind of moving through these a lot faster. They grabbed Tyree Wilson, edge rusher, with the first pick, and then they also get in a defensive tackle, wide receiver, quarterback, safety, linebacker, defensive tackle. Pro Football Focus gave them a B-. If anybody has anything to say about these, just go ahead and chime in quickly. But otherwise, I'm just gonna move to the next team, which is the Los Angeles Chargers, who picked wide receiver Quentin Johnston from TCU in the first round. That's a good pick. They also grabbed edge rusher Tuli Tupulupalapatu out of USC. I just wanted to say fuck his name up. They've got a linebacker, wide receiver, a tackle, a defensive tackle, and quarterback Max Duggan out of TCU as well. And they were given an A- by Pro Football Focus. The Rams had a boatload of picks, none in the first round. They had a second round pick. They grabbed guard Steve Avila out of TCU. TCU had a lot of people picked in this draft. They also got an edge rusher, Byron Young, who was a surprise to fall to the third round to me. Defensive tackle, they also grabbed another quarterback, Stetson Bennett out of Georgia, an offensive tackle, tight end, wide receiver, edge rusher, cornerback, edge rusher, running back, Zach Evans, a punter, a safety, and a defensive tackle. And they were given an A-, an A- by Pro Football Focus.
Okay.
I give them at least an A because they added a lot of depth and maybe a couple starters.
Agreed.
They could have added anything and would have been a better team than last season.
Agreed. The Miami Dolphins didn't have a first round pick, but in the second round they got Cam Smith out of South Carolina, cornerback out of South Carolina. They also grabbed a running back, a tight end, and an offensive tackle.
I'm about to leave work, y'all. So no, I'm still gonna stay on, but I'm leaving work, so I'll have more free time now.
Okay. All right. We got a lot. We got quite a bit more show, even though we're running long. We're gonna run long because this segment is running long. So the Dolphins got a B-. We're gonna move on to the Minnesota Vikings, who grabbed wide receiver Jordan Addison from USC with the first pick. They also got in the third round. They didn't have a second round pick. They got a cornerback. They got two cornerbacks back to back. A defensive tackle, grabbed quarterback Jaron Hall in the fifth round from BYU.
Yo, I'm hoping my internet don't get choppy because I'm about to head in my car and turn this Wi-Fi off, but I'm still with y'all though.
Okay. All right. Pro Football Focus gave the Vikings a B-. Waze, you got the floor.
I have to be fair, even though I am a Vikings fan, I will give them a B. Jordan Addison, I think, is a bigger draft pick than what a lot of people are giving him credit for. He's going to be a dual threat, whether it's deep or in the slot. As far as the quarterback pickup, I honestly think that's a smart move. We had a rookie quarterback a couple years ago that he hasn't shown anything worth keeping him around for.
Team I think killed it in the draft. I gave this team an A plus. New England Patriots. They got a cornerback Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. They also grabbed an edge rusher, a safety, a center, a kicker in the 4th round. That's kind of early, but they also got an offensive guard. They got a wide receiver, a punter, a wide receiver, and a couple of cornerbacks, and another player, Antonio Mafi out of UCLA with no position next to his name, positionless player. They gave him an A minus.
I give him an A.
Okay.
Filled a lot of needs and added a lot of depth again.
And the Saints grabbed defensive tackle Byron Brissy out of Clemson. They got an edge rusher, a running back, offensive tackle, quarterback, safety, wide receiver. They got a B minus.
Sure.
The Giants grabbed cornerback Deontay Banks out of Maryland. They also grabbed a center, which is a good pick for me, a wide receiver, a running back, a cornerback, a defensive tackle, and a safety. And they gave them an A plus.
Interesting.
I gave them a B. I
Yeah.
didn't see the A plus coming, but
No.
I did love that center pick though. The Jets with Aaron Rodgers. They went after edge rusher Will McDonald out of Iowa State in the 1st round. Then they grabbed a center, an offensive tackle, a running back, a linebacker, a cornerback, and a tight end. No wide receivers. And they were given a B minus by Pro Football Focus.
Same old for A-Rod.
I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I have a feeling the wide receivers he has are sufficient. They didn't have a tight end. There's a possibility they could have filled that, but we'll find out eventually.
Yeah, because they picked their tight end with the last pick with their 6th round pick, which was their last pick. It was like, they'll wait all the way to the 6th round to finally give me a weapon. But they did pick up some offensive linemen early, so that's good. That should bode well for them. The Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, who gives a fuck?
Hey,
Let's move on. Fuck them. Let's see. They picked Jalen Carter with the 1st pick. They also got Nolan Smith with their 2nd pick in round 1. So they had 2 1st-round picks, Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, both from Georgia. Then they also grabbed an offensive tackle, a safety, a cornerback, Tanner McKee out of Stanford, quarterback, and another defensive tackle. And Pro Football Focus should have given them an A plus, and they did give them an A plus. Absolutely phenomenal draft for the Eagles. What else can be said?
Right.
Did anybody not give them an A plus?
No.
I give them an A plus plus.
That was an A plus. That was a top notch draft. That was the best draft. I think they won the draft. I
think that, like, because look, I'm an Eagles fan, right? So I know the history of how they drafted in the past. But it was like now they getting Alabama and Georgia players. Like, being an Eagles fan, years ago, we wasn't drafting from the SEC. We was getting players from the Pac-12, the Big Ten, and the fans would be like, yo, why we don't draft these players? But they made a whole change.
That's the same thing I said about Detroit. That's what Brad Holmes is doing differently than anybody I've ever seen run this draft for Detroit. Is he picking Alabama players a lot, and Detroit normally goes Big Ten and Pac-10, Pac-12, or Pac-10. Well, they were Pac-12 now, but they were Pac-10 for a while. But yeah, they was always Big Ten and Pac-10. That's it. And
ain't the Pac-12
going SEC?
Ain't the Pac-12 part of the Big Ten now?
Yes. Yes.
So, same
I
old
think it
bull.
was solid though. I think it was a solid draft. But my only worry about the Eagles is if these draft, like I do think some of them gonna hit, but if them draft picks don't hit in 3-4 years from now, we suffering from it. It's just gonna suck. But I do think it's a good draft though. Them Alabama, Georgia players be monsters coming out. So and
They
you
got
know we
the
got
best- They got the best two
No.
players off of Georgia's defense last year and the best two players off of Georgia's defense this year.
Yeah,
I mean, damn. So yeah, I think
and two of the best players off Alabama's offense.
yeah, they did. They did. Well, they got one player off of Alabama.
I thought it was two.
No, they got an offensive tackle from Alabama, and then they grabbed a cornerback from Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought that was an A plus for them.
the Eagles trying to
Pittsburgh.
win it. They trying to go back.
Pittsburgh Steelers grabbed offensive tackle Broderick Jones from Georgia with their first pick. They also grabbed Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter Sr. was also a Pittsburgh Steeler. So they got father and son combo going on there. They have defensive tackle, a tight end, an edge rusher, a cornerback, and an offensive guard. And they were given an A plus as well by Pro Football Focus.
I give them an A.
The San Francisco 49ers. I give them an A plus. So we can move on to the next one.
Hey,
Hold on, what was that with y'all drafting that kicker in the third round?
hey, they
But-
copied the Raiders formula.
Yeah, well,
Draft a
here's the
kicker with
deal.
their first pick.
They didn't have a first round or a second round pick, so their first pick was in the third round, which
But
was
couldn't they wait though? They probably could have waited for that though.
their first.
You think
they
so?
had three. They had three third round picks. Their first pick, they grabbed the safety Jair Brown from Penn State. Then they went with kicker Jake Moody out of Michigan. So there's a difference when you're picking the kicker from Michigan. When you're picking somebody from Michigan, you get them as soon as you can. I don't care what position. So then they got tight end out of Alabama, and then they went cornerback, edge rusher, linebacker, tight end again, wide receiver, and linebacker. So I think Pro Football Focus gave them a C minus. And we'll see about that. No, I think it's not a great draft for them, but considering they didn't have a first round pick or a second round pick, I didn't expect a whole lot.
And weren't most of their picks like compensation picks?
They were. They had, I think, they had 3 compensation picks. So they had a third, a 5, and a 7. I think it is.
Okay.
Seattle Seahawks got Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois and Jackson Smith and Jigba out of Ohio State. Then they followed that up with an edge rusher, a running back, a guard, defensive tackle, edge, center, safety, running back. They got an A from Pro Football Focus, but they're the Seahawks. Your thoughts? Anybody? Fuck them. Fuck the Seahawks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Khalid Yancey out of Pittsburgh, defensive tackle. They also got an offensive tackle. I love offensive tackles. Edge rusher, Yaya Diaby. I just wanted to say that. Yaya out of Louisville. Linebacker, cornerback, tight end, wide receiver, edge rusher, cornerback. And they got an A minus.
I'll agree with that one.
Tennessee Titans grabbed Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern, Will Levis out of Kentucky. Will Levis has been my favorite pick in this draft because everybody that said you don't pick a running back in the first round, that guy was slated to come out second round. I say, really, whoever slated that, where did they slate Will Levis?
Number
That's the
4.
reason that's why I like that fact.
Number
Yeah,
4.
Exactly. So that shows you how much they know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know. So if Tennessee got an A. They gave Tennessee an A. The Commanders grabbed Emmanuel Forbes, a cornerback out of Mississippi State. They got a cornerback in the second round as well. Then they went center, tackle, edge, running back, linebacker, and they got a B. And that is it for the draft grades. There's one more thing I want to do before we go, and I'm gonna just run through them just because this is gonna be way too fun, and then we can get out of here.
Okay.
The fun thing about this is the NFL way too early mock draft for 2024. The fun thing about this for me is more than the players picked, it's the order in which the teams pick, because it is their way of also predicting how those teams finish.
Okay.
And this is coming from, which side is this? I can't read it. I don't care. Oh, that's right. This is the Windy City Grid. Windy City Grid, way too early mock draft. With the first pick, Arizona Cardinals. So in other words, they're saying Arizona's going to be the worst team in football.
God damn.
And they open up the pick. Y'all ready for this first pick? Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC.
Ooh.
Okay.
Shot at Kyler Williams there.
Like you said, way too early.
Yeah.
Took a shot at Kyler. With the second pick, the Arizona Cardinals again, because this is a pick they got from the Texans, so they're saying the Houston Texans will be the second worst team in football. And with the pick number 2, they pick Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State.
Okay.
Oh, that would be good.
But CJ Stroud, yeah.
At number 3, the Indianapolis Colts. They picked Joe Alt, offensive tackle. At number 4, they have the Tennessee Titans. Ooh, brutal. So they say the Titans are going to suck. And they get Olu Fashanu, rather, offensive tackle out of Penn State. And number 5, your Chicago Bears. Via the Panthers. So
I was going to say, that would be from the Panthers.
Via the Panthers, Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. Number 6, Atlanta Falcons, Drake May, quarterback out of North Carolina. At number 7, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Quinn Ewers, quarterback out of Texas. Number 8, the Washington Commanders, J.J. McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan. Wow. At
What?
number 9, yeah, they're saying he's going to come out early. Number 9, the Los Angeles Rams select Kool-Aid McKinstry. This nigga named Kool-Aid.
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 That's a true nigga right there.
What the hell?
Quarterback out of Alabama.
That remind me of the person I know back from Beloit. Her name was Marijuana Pepsi-Cola Jackson.
Damn.
God damn.
Damn, her mama was drinking coke and weed.
Yeah, she called herself Mary Jane now.
Weed coke. At number 10, the New England Patriots with the 10th pick, Amika Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. At pick 11, the Pittsburgh Steelers picks Dallas Turner out of edge rusher out of Alabama. Damn, Steelers fans won't like that. We're picking 11th. You're trying to say we suck. At number 12, your Chicago Bears. At number 12, JT Tumalua, edge rusher out of Ohio. At number 13, the Packers with Kalen Bullock. So they're saying the Packers are going to finish ahead of the Bears. And the Packers get Kalen Bullock out of safety. And at number 14 is the Minnesota Vikings. Jared Verse, edge rusher out of Florida State. So that says the Lions wins the division, but where did they finish? The Las Vegas Raiders, J.C. Latham, offensive tackle out of Alabama. By way of the Browns, the Houston Texans at 16 select Michael Hall Jr., defensive lineman out of Ohio State. At number 17, the Jacksonville Jags, Denzel Burke, cornerback. Damn, where's the Lions? Baltimore Ravens at 18. Tyreek Williams, a defensive lineman at Ohio State. At number 19, the Giants, Xavier Worthy, wide receiver, Texas. Pick number 20, Seattle Seahawks, Jack Sawyer, edge rusher out of Ohio State. Well, damn, where's the Lions? New Orleans Saints at 21, Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU. At 22, the Los Angeles Chargers, Kingsley Suamatua, or offensive tackle, BYU. At number 23, the Miami Dolphins, Jer'Zhan Newton, defensive lineman out of Illinois. Oh, wow. They thinking Sean Payton going to make a difference. At 24, Denver Broncos, Leonard Taylor, defensive lineman out of Miami. 25, the Green Bay Packers, via the Jets, Marius Mims, offensive tackle. So they're saying Aaron Rodgers does well, but doesn't get a Super Bowl. And at number 26, your Detroit Lions. Damn, that's a high. Damn, they picking the Lions to kick some ass. Kalen King, cornerback out of Penn State. 27, the Dallas Cowboys. Too bad, Melvin. They're not picking them to win. Andrew Makuba, safety out of Clemson. 28, Cincinnati Bengals, Mason Smith out of LSU. 29, the Buffalo Bills, Travion Henderson, running back out of Ohio State. And at 30, your Philadelphia Eagles, Barrett Carter, linebacker out of Clemson. So, down to the last two teams, which is their Super Bowl pick. The two teams that go in the Super Bowl are the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs.
They tripping.
And they picked the 49ers to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs go back-to-back. But this time they beat the 49ers. You're right, they tripping. So the 49ers picked Donovan Jackson, offensive guard out of Ohio State. And the Kansas City Chiefs with the last pick Cooper DeJean at cornerback out of Iowa. So their prediction is 49ers, Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
You want to know my prediction?
Nope.
Look, Eagles and Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
I got Buffalo losing and then winning the next season. Call it a long shot. I thought about it like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, yeah, I can see that. But if San Fran makes the Super Bowl, that's not far-fetched either. They're a good team, so. Okay. That'd be a good Super Bowl matchup regardless. But I just don't think that San Fran's going to beat the Eagles. Yeah, all right. I mean, you never know what happens. I can't predict the future, but
way too early.
I want some wood.
no, it's just a regular day. I gotta take a trip to the dispensary. If I had some weed, I'd be smoking it right now while I'm driving. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with the Super Bowl rematch.
both gonna fall. I don't think.
I would like to see Buffalo though. Even though I'm Kansas City, I want to see Buffalo go to the Super Bowl one good time. Because they got a good team over there. Of course, I do like Joe Shiesty too. Joe Shiesty, man.
How about this for the Super Bowl? Here's the dream Super Bowl. Here's one that we. How about Detroit against the Jets? Aaron Rodgers against the Lions. One is time for all Marvel.
I mean, it's not impossible. Things go their way. I think the Lions gonna be nice this year. I think they're gonna definitely be a playoff team.
Yeah, I think that's.
I got them at least at 10 wins, 10 11 if everything break their way.
I can agree with that.
I just started wanting to hear Rodgers.
Okay.
If somehow the Bears made it.
Oh my God.
Why did I think he would say anything other than the Bears? Not that. Anyway, about that. No, I ain't thinking
What team
about
does
it.
Aaron Rodgers think he owns?
I am not thinking about it. Okay.
What team does Aaron Rodgers think he owns?
He don't think he owns the Bears. He does. I mean, so does own the Bears.
He does own the Bears though.
There you go.
Anyway, man, that's it for the offseason. We went long tonight because we did some different stuff, but I had a good time with it. We also had some guests. I want to thank Carlton for stopping in and joining us. I want to thank John for stopping in and joining us. And of course, I also want to thank El Capitan, El Jefe, for coming in and joining us. The collective has joined the end with the Master Boys today. That is what we do because we're a team. Fuck SWV. We gonna beat y'all ass like y'all stole something. This is the offseason. I'm your boy OG Tim Wilson. This is Big Ed Rays, and also we got Carlton and DeJohn still with us here. And we want to say peace out. If you like what you see, subscribe